2017-2018 Los Angeles Lakers.
From Chino Hills to Westwood to El Segundo, Lonzo Ball has remained in Southern California for his entire hoops career. The UCLA product comes into the league with no less than Magic Johnson calling him the face of the franchise. As a senior in high school, Lonzo led Chino Hills to an undefeated season and a national championship. As a freshman at UCLA, he led the Bruins to the Sweet 16 in the NCAA tournament. He led the nation in assists and broke the UCLA school record for assists in a season. He was named as first-team All-Pac-12 and a consensus first-team All-American. After being drafted second overall by the Lakers in the 2017 draft, Lonzo was named the MVP of the Vegas Summer League after averaging 16.3 points, 9.9 assists, and 7.7 rebounds in the 6 games he played. He was also named to the All-Summer League first team.
Getting you closer to Lakers basketball. The Lakers play here.
Seeing your team win is thrilling. Watching them win in overtime is even better. And the best of all, enjoying some award-winning Larceny Wheated Bourbon while you cheer them on. Larceny is made with more wheat for a smoother taste. Our master distillers hand-select only the finest barrels for a true small-batch bourbon. Get caught in the act. Unlock the smoothness of Larceny Bourbon. Larceny Bourbon, Bardstown, Kentucky. 46% alcohol by volume. Think wisely, drink wisely.
Recapping everything from tonight's Lakers game.
The Lakers Locker Room Report.
On the ESPN LA Lakers Radio Network.
Lakers lose 119-112 to the New Orleans Pelicans. They drop to 1-2 on the season. The Pelicans improve to 1-2. We pause 10 seconds now for station identification on the ESPN LA Lakers Radio Network.
Get closer to the Lakers on KSPN Los Angeles. Hear every moment of Lakers basketball on ESPN LA 710 and the ESPN app.
Very well done. Brian Kamenetsky, Andy Kamenetsky. It's the Lakers locker room on the ESPN LA Lakers Radio Network. Lakers lose, Andy, but it was a game that had, over the last 18 minutes, we'll call it, a lot of encouraging stuff, certainly for the Staples Center crowd. This was a loud building tonight, and the Lakers started making this comeback because, like we talked about a couple minutes ago, it was a comeback fueled by defensive energy. Julius Randle was as active as engaged as he's been, all year. Obviously, it's 2.5 games to that point, but he was moving well, had a couple big blocks in the second half.
And it's on the heels of a game that he was essentially benched.
Yes.
And he played, I think it was 13 minutes against the Suns, did not play well at all. His body language in the opening 2 games has been problematic.
Sure, and in the first half tonight, he matched up against DeMarcus Cousins in a matchup that he's had before and had some mixed success at times. He was getting beat up in there. And on one hand, Andy, you would expect that DeMarcus Cousins beats up people who are physically bigger.
There are not a lot of guys in the league who can single guard DeMarcus Cousins.
Right, and what happened, though, in the second half, it seemed, is that they changed up their defensive rotations a little bit and started doubling, moving guys around, and the energy increased. Kyle Kuzma's energy increased. Josh Hart off the bench brought in energy and a defensive intensity. Even guys like Jordan Clarkson, not known for their defense, stepped it up, and it was that kind of pushed the Lakers into that comeback. They fell short. They got to learn how to close these games. But overall, if you're leaving the building tonight, I think you're focused more on the final 15 minutes of that game than what came before.
Well, especially, too. I mean, this felt like an absolute blowout in in-the-making.
They were down by 20 more than once.
It felt like fans were going to walk out of Staples Center feeling exactly like they did against the opener versus the Clippers, and also feeling like what they saw against the Suns the next night was just all about Phoenix and nothing to do with what the Lakers can do, nothing to do with their potential, nothing to do with whatever talent they have on the floor. And tonight, they lost to a team that I think is better than them. The Pelicans are a better team than the Lakers. But the Lakers did a lot of positives in a game that seemed like it was going to be filled with negatives.
Right, and it's important that they don't give up on those types of games, and it's something that could pay dividends over the course of the season. We'll come back with some final thoughts about tonight's game and look ahead to Wednesday's game against the Wizards at Staples Center. That's next. Brian Kamenetsky, Andy Kamenetsky on the Lakers locker room on the ESPN LA Lakers Radio Network.
It has finally happened.
Tonight's
shot, and it is caught, and the ball game is over, and the Los Angeles Dodgers have won the pennant.
The long wait has ended, and the Dodgers have a chance to bring a World Series championship back to L.A. From walk-off homers to dominant pitching, this is making you a believer in a championship. Hear real Dodgers World Series talk all day long, only on ESPN LA 710.
All right, one more season, then we go to McDonald's.
No, 2 seasons, then we go to McDonald's.
Now you don't have to stop your marathon with McDelivery. Order on the Uber Eats app and have your favorites delivered right to you. And for $5 off your first 3 Uber Eats orders, use the code MCDEATS123. At participating McDonald's, McPick 2 and other offers excluded. Delivery prices may be higher than at restaurants. Booking fee applies. New Uber Eats users only. Expires December 31st.
How is it that Pennzoil in your engine makes you feel this? Or how this takes your mind to this? It's because to us, performance is more than just a word. It's the ultimate goal. And whether you get your oil changed at a shop or take care of it yourself, Pennzoil Synthetics give you complete protection for top engine performance. Make the switch today at your nearest Home Depot location.
It has finally happened.
Line shot, and it is caught, and the ball game is over, and the Los Angeles Dodgers have won the pennant.
The long wait has ended, and the Dodgers have a chance to bring a World Series championship back to L.A.
The Dodgers are headed to the World Series for the first time in 29 years.
When towers seem like trees and roads become rivers, the Range Rover Evoque is there to guide you through the twists and turns of the urban jungle. Visit your SoCal Land Rover retailer for special offers.
Getting you closer to the Lakers.
One guard, Lonzo Ball, 6'6" rookie out of UCLA. Furious Clarkson coming the other way. Alley-oop to Lonzo, slam dunk.
Hear every Lakers game on the ESPN LA Lakers radio network. It's the Lakers Locker Room Report.
Lakers basketball is the final.
Recapping everything from tonight's Lakers game on the ESPN LA Lakers radio network.
Lakers lose 119-112 to the New Orleans Pelicans at Staples Center. They fall to 1-2 on the season. The Pelicans improve to 1-2 on the season. For the Lakers tonight, 20 points for Kentavious Caldwell-Pope in his Lakers debut. Remember, he missed a couple games, the first 2 games of the season because of a suspension that goes back to his days with the Pistons. 8 points and 8 points, 8 rebounds, 13 assists for Lonzo Ball. So a full stat line, only real blemish there. 3 of 13 from the floor. 20 points for Kyle Kuzma off the bench. 6 rebounds to go along with that. 24 points for Jordan Clarkson. 10 of 18 from the floor for him. So some big performances for the Lakers. And it was really that second unit, Andy, that brought them back into the game. And Luke Walton ran with basically that group, brought Lonzo back in the game, but essentially ran with that group.
It was interesting, too, because sort of things started getting sparked when he decided pretty surprisingly to go with Josh Hart alongside Jordan Clarkson. Hart really hasn't played much this season, and Luke's obviously been looking for like a pure point.
He's trying to figure out what to do when Lonzo's not on the floor.
Right, and what to do essentially with that second guard spot with Jordan Clarkson. And it seemed like he'd been looking for more of a pure point guard to have Clarkson play off guard, because even though Clarkson's played some point guard, it's not really what he does. But then when he shifted Clarkson over to the point and put Hart in, they seem to have much more cohesion on both sides of the ball. They had more defensive intensity. I thought actually Hart had some really nice moments in 15 minutes.
It gives them a lot of length, and it was funny. They have a small lineup on the floor. They're 2 bigs, Bogut and Lopez, both on the bench, but they did have Randall next to Kuzma, next to Ingram for a while, and then Hart and Clarkson, and those are big, small people.
Yes.
And so, nobody is 6'10", 6'11", 7 feet, but nobody's 6'1" either.
No,
and
I mean, it's actually kind of, I mean, it's
very new NBA.
Well, I was going to say it's very new NBA. It's sort of a watered down version of what the Warriors do with their death lineup. Because, I mean, nobody out there is...
Sure it's watered down, Andy?
But you know what I'm saying, though?
No, I do. Absolutely.
Everybody's within a certain frame of size. But within that frame of size, everybody's got length. You know, with the exception of Steph, but Steph is his own, own breed of trouble when you're trying to defend him and, everything he brings to the table. But you're still going to be able to switch with that small lineup. There's a lot of things that you can do, particularly defensively, with that lineup.
We invite you to stay with us for more post-game coverage on our flagship station, ESPN LA 710. Join us again also as well on Wednesday, Lakers versus the Wizards from Staples Center. And this has been the Lakers Locker Room on the ESPN LA Lakers Radio Network.
You're listening to the Lakers Locker Room Report.
Brought to you by
Universal Studios Hollywood. Get ready for nonstop terror with more mazes than ever at Universal Studios Halloween Horror Nights. Catch the Lakers Locker Room Report recapping what went down after every Lakers game on the ESPN LA Lakers Radio Network.
In a world of a million mobile devices, the most powerful one has just arrived. It's available with technologies like gesture control, allowing it to understand the point of a finger or the wave of a hand, and intelligent voice control, which takes commands and learns from the way you speak. It features a 10.25-inch touchscreen, wireless charging, and optional software that can actually park your car for you. Available with not one camera, not two cameras, but 4 cameras that capture 360 degrees. But what truly sets it apart from every other mobile device on the market? It goes from 0 to 60 in just 4.7 seconds. Introducing the newest generation of the iconic sports sedan, the all-new, all-innovative 2017 BMW 5 Series. BMW, the ultimate driving machine. 0 to 60 time based on the 540i xDrive sedan.
Right now, lease a 2017 BMW 530i sedan for as low as $539 a month. Details at SoCalBMW.com.
Mornings with Keyshawn, George, and LZ.
The body issue is like the thing to do for every athlete. Like now they want to all do it.
Yeah, I pass on all that, man. We ain't doing that.
Monday morning, 6 to 9.
That's my deal, though. I didn't want to be that guy in the Shawnee's video.
I love your smile. Oh, no, man. Were you supposed to be the smile and I love your smile? Was that supposed to be you?
I'm just saying.
ESPN LA 710.
Auto parts from Champion aren't for everyone. They're for champions, like Formula Drift World Champion Chris Forsberg. Right, Chris?
Actually, Champion parts are for everyone who appreciates quality batteries, wipers, lights, filters, and spark plugs.
You mean every champion drift artist who defies gravity and laughs at the laws of thermodynamics?
I mean everyone who appreciates quality parts, like my mom, Uncle Steve, Ray.
Okay, we get it.
Champion batteries, wipers, lighting, filters, and spark plugs. Made for the champion and all of us. Available at Pep Boys or visit ChampionAutoParts.com.
Thanks to Pizza at $7.99 large pizza deal, it's never been easier to bring everyone to the table. Get an oven-hot large pizza with 2 of your favorite toppings for just $7.99. It's the best pizza delivery deal out there because no one outpizzas the Hut.
Getting you closer to the Lakers.
Here is Clarkson coming the other way. Alley-oop to Lonzo. Slam dunk. Here is Kuzma. Another beautiful 360. Turn and score inside.
Hear every Lakers game on the ESPN LA Lakers Radio Network. It's time for your first chance to react to tonight's Lakers game. Lakers basketball is a final tonight at Staples. This is the Land Rover postgame show, recapping everything from tonight's game against the Pelicans on ESPN LA 710 and the ESPN app.
Your Southern California Land Rover retailers. Visit them for special lease and finance offers. Land Rover, above and beyond.
Was it 2 wins in a row? How did Lonzo look? And what's ahead for Wednesday night against Washington? Your reaction. 877-710 ESPN. The Land Rover postgame show tips off now. Here's Andy and Brian Kamenetsky.
All right, Andy, Brian Kamenetsky. The Lakers do lose 119-112 tonight at Staples Center. They dropped to 1-2 on the season. Pelicans improved to 1-2. On obviously still, Andy, we're pretty early in this thing. Some good numbers in terms of stats for the Lakers. Jordan Clarkson leads all scorers for the Lakers, 24 points on 10 of 18 from the floor. Kentavious Caldwell-Pope makes his Lakers debut, and it was a very good one. 20 points, 7 of 11 from the floor. He hit all 4 of his free throws. He was 2 of 4 from three-point range. He had a couple steals. He had a big block in the fourth
I was going to say,
he's everywhere.
Huge energy. I mean, there was a lot of time when KCP was on the floor where he didn't necessarily make the Lakers, quote-unquote, better, but his energy is tangible. I mean, he plays extremely hard, and he gives them a boost on both sides of the ball. Like, you feel that he's out there. Mm-hmm. And you could also tell he was anxious to get back out on the floor.
For sure.
Having missed those 2 games with a suspension.
Lonzo Ball comes through tonight, 36 minutes, with 8 points, 8 rebounds, and 13 assists. So he's filling up the stat line as he has been doing. And I think I just saw this fly through Twitter, the 13 assists, the most for a Lakers rookie since, what's that guy's name who was...
Smush?
No, but he wasn't a rookie when he played with the Lakers.
He was not a rookie.
He had all that experience. Magic Johnson. He's famous. He has a statue.
Yes, he does. Although, really, at the rate the Lakers give out statues, does it mean that much?
You get a statue, and you get a statue. So Lonzo, the only blemish on Lonzo's line really tonight, 3 of 13 from the floor, continues to struggle with his shot, but I think we all kind of expect this kind of thing where you look up and whether you think Lonzo had a good game or a bad game or whatever, 5 or 6 categories in the stat sheet are going to be filled up. The only disappointment I thought from my perspective, from a statistical standpoint at least, Andy, Brandon Ingram follows his career-high 25 against the Suns on Friday with only 7 points and 4 assists tonight, 3 of 9 from the floor. So that's something we can talk about. But overall, 877-710-ESPN, this was a game where I think the Lakers may have discovered something about themselves and how they're going to have to play if they're going to be competitive in the second half with that small lineup that they put out, that increase the defensive intensity, increase the offensive pressure, and show the kind of energy they're going to have to bring for 48 minutes as opposed to, say, 18.
Yeah, I mean, this is a team that most nights is going to be out-talented. I mean, they just don't have, talent-wise, a roster that can match up with most teams in the NBA on a night-to-night basis. So they're going into most games outgunned, which means they have to try to find something that they can use as a literal edge. Like, we have an edge over this team in this department. And I would say for a lot of nights, energy is what they can control. I mean, they're a young team. They're a team that wants to prove itself. They're a team that has a lot. There's a lot riding on their success this season, big picture. I mean, even for a team that's expected to win about 32 games, there's a lot riding on how they look winning 32 games.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that because they did not win tonight. I'm not going to sit here and pretend that they did win. Yeah, I'm seeing it on ESPN Stats and Info. Lonzo Ball, youngest player in Lakers history with 10 assists in the game. Previous mark, again, that Magic Johnson. Mm-hmm. So he beat him by a year. Good job, Lonzo. They didn't win. I get that, and it's not a moral victory thing and whatever. But to what you're talking about, for the Lakers, every time the Lakers go out early this season and they get blown up by 20 points and they look listless, and Brandon Ingram doesn't have a good game, and Randall's struggling, and Clarkson and Lonzo's, all the negative stuff gets accentuated, and that's going to be the storyline that gets around the league. And in a year where the Lakers are trying desperately to change the narrative around the team and show that there is potential here, even if the wins aren't here, they need moments like what happened in the second half to kind of prove the excitement and the legitimacy and all that the front office is selling. Bad blowout losses where the offense is stagnant and all that hurt in ways that go beyond, that's a bummer of a game.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny because this is a team that we know, whether we want to be realistic about it or not, we know that there's a developmental aspect of this team. I mean, their future rides on a lot of young players. Lonzo Ball, Brandon Ingram, Julius Randle, if he has a future with the team, Kyle Kuzma. These are all kids that are going to need to be developed, and development takes time. And even with all the fast tracking going on, the front office has acknowledged that. But the flip side is all of these kids are on a clock because everything is about this upcoming summer. And everything is about LeBron James, Paul George, DeMarcus Cousins, all these different names are getting bandied about, and they're on a clock to this summer. So you're looking forward 5 years from now, but you're also looking forward to less than a year from now.
The Lakers secret word promotion is back. We're giving away a Lakers flyaway to see the Lakers versus Warriors up at the Bay Area on December 22nd. Here's how you can win. Andy, tonight's secret word is Lonzo. It feels like the unsecret word is also Lonzo. Basically, every word is Lonzo.
By the way, that's the best secret word if you call in and Keyshawn asks what it is and you just blank. Just guess Lonzo. I mean, that's the best role.
I don't know if it's going to be Lonzo every night, but it's probably not a bad place to start.
Take your chances.
It's like your
Lonzo.
multiple choice test. The answer is always C when in doubt. The Lakers secret word promotion, you listen to that tomorrow for Keyshawn's cue to call. It's during the 7 a.m. hour. If you are the 7th caller with the correct secret word, again, it's Lonzo. You win the Lakers flyaway with airfare, hotel, and tickets to the game. So that's pretty cool. Let's talk a little bit about Lonzo because he is the center of all of this stuff. And, he didn't shoot well tonight. He had 5 turnovers. He was a minus 24. But at the same time, you look up and he's got 8 rebounds, he's got 28 rebounds in 3 games for the Lakers. I don't have the numbers in front of me. I am 99% sure that leads the team. In total rebounds. He is the point guard, and he's got more rebounds than anyone. It's not because the rest of the team can't rebound. It's because he's got 28 of them.
I'll tell you something it's incredibly evident after just 3 games of watching Lonzo in the regular season. He reads the flight of the ball exceptionally well.
Right.
I mean, you see him tracking every single shot as it goes up. He can track every single miss, where the ball's going to end up deflected towards. He reads it exceptionally well.
And you combine that with the ability to
push afterwards.
But he sees where the guys are going before. And this is why players like Nance, Kuzma, Brewer, or whatever that are smart players are going to thrive next to Lonzo. It's why one of the reasons Nance, I think, is starting and Brewer is getting a lot of early burn is because those guys know where to go. And so Lonzo's going up to get the rebound. He's already thinking of where that outlet is going before he turns. 13 assists tonight, career high.
The ability to read that ball flight is particularly huge for a point guard that wants to push pace. I mean, because to put yourself in the position to grab that board and start the break immediately, I mean, again, it's just one of the things that Lonzo does really well and just reflects the intelligence that he has as a young player.
3 of 13 from the floor, 0 of 5 from three-point range. My prediction for Lonzo coming into the season was that the shot was going to be problematic for him. I mean, it is. We saw it in Summer League, and we saw it even at UCLA. I mean, he took a lot of deep threes for college, in part because I think he's comfortable trying to get that shot off, given its weirdness,
that weird corkscrew,
from a little further back to give himself some space to do it. In the NBA, it's already a deeper line, and guys close out faster, so it pushes it back even more. He maybe feels like he's got to get it off a little quicker, whatever it is. I don't think he's going to shoot the same percentages that he did at UCLA. He's going to have to work mid-range more than he did at UCLA. What was it? I mean, you saw that number, Andy. It was like 85% of his shots, 90% of his shots were either threes or at the rim. That is going to be almost impossible for him to replicate at the NBA level. I thought his best shot of the night was the one early in the game, comes off a screen and stops for that mid-range jumper. That's the shot he's going to get over and over again.
I mean, the most important thing for Lonzo, whether you're talking about him putting up mid-range shots, whether you're talking about him putting up shots behind the line or at the rim, he needs to shoot. Because the first game, I think one of the struggles that Lonzo had was that he wasn't actually trying to put up enough shots at all.
Yeah.
And obviously, I don't expect him to put up 27 like he did against
too many.
That's too many. But somewhere between 13 like he had tonight and 27, he needs to be accounted for as a scorer, and I think he's starting to recognize that.
The McDonald's defensive play of the game is brought to you by McDonald's. Get McDelivery now on the Uber Eats app. Delivery prices may be higher at restaurants. Booking fee applies. Tonight's defensive play of the game goes to Contavious Caldwell-Pope.
Miller's got the ball, and he's dribbling at the top of the key. Stolen by Caldwell-Pope. Gets ahead on a fast break and dunks it. Lakers, Michael, despite the fact they're 5 of 20, are only down by 6.
All right, so that's the type of defensive impact the Lakers would love to see from Kentavious Caldwell-Pope all season long. Also chipped in with 20 points tonight. Andy, coming up next in 877-710-ESPN, we'll take some of your calls, but we also want to talk about the lineup change that Luke Walton went with in the second half that helped the Lakers go on this run and what it might mean going forward for them. This is the Land Rover postgame show on ESPN LA.
This is Nicholas Alexander from Nick Alexander Imports, LA's #1 BMW dealer. My family lives on one of those streets that goes crazy for Halloween. It's an unwritten rule that our street goes all out on decorations. By Halloween night, trick-or-treaters are coming from all over, and they do not leave disappointed. It's not unlike buying your BMW from Nick Alexander. Our customers come from all over Southern California because our selection of CPO BMWs is huge, and our overhead is low in the wholesale district, and we pass that savings on to you. So come down before Halloween night and treat yourself to the CPO of your dreams at prices only found in the wholesale district. You will not be disappointed. For example, lease a 2017 BMW 330xi for only $239 per month, plus tax, $19.95 down, 24 months, 10,000 miles per year on approved credit. Call 800-800-NICK or search our entire inventory online at alexanderbmw.com. We're centrally located to all of Southern California in the wholesale district. That's 800-800-NICK. And remember, Nick can't say no.
Come out to the Gardens Casino's 200,000 square foot venue featuring 220 flat screen TVs, 24 California craft beers on tap, and an upscale bar and lounge with handcrafted cocktails. If you enjoy card games, the Gardens Casino has games 24/7, Texas Hold'em, Pai Gow Poker, and more. Visit thegardenscasino.com to learn about every promotion coming up. You can also download the Gardens Casino app. The Gardens Casino is located off the 605 and Carson Street. Must be 21. Please pay responsibly or call 1-800-GAMBLER. The Gardens Casino, best play in LA.
Hi, it's Jamie, Progressive's #1, #2 employee. Leave a message at the... Hi, Jamie. It's you, Jamie. Don't be alarmed, but I think there's a guy following you. Maybe we should get that guard dog we talked about? Nothing too scary. Maybe like a Bichon with an attitude? You know, Progressive's collision insurance covers injured dogs and cats at no extra cost, so... Wait, the guy stood up when I stood up. He's on the phone. He's looking right at me. Oh, wait, it's just my reflection. Don't tell anyone about this.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Pet coverage not available in New Hampshire and North Carolina.
It has finally happened.
Line shot, and it is caught, and the ball game is over, and the Los Angeles Dodgers have won the pennant.
The long wait has ended, and the Dodgers have a chance to bring a World Series championship back to L.A. From walk-off homers to dominant pitching, this is making you a believer in a championship. Hear real Dodgers World Series talk all day long, only on ESPN LA 710. This is the Land Rover postgame show. Highlights from tonight's Lakers game and your reaction on the Lakers line.
Hi, this is Luke Walton on ESPN LA 710 and the ESPN app.
The Land Rover postgame show.
Your Southern California Land Rover retailers. Visit them for special lease and finance offers. Land Rover, above and beyond.
Once again, here's Andy and Brian Kamenetsky.
Lakers lose 119-112 to the New Orleans Pelicans Sunday night at Staples Center. Lakers dropped to 1-2 on the season. Pelicans improved to 1-2. The Universal Studios Hollywood Star of the Game is presented by Universal Studios Hollywood. Get ready for nonstop terror with more mazes than ever at Universal Studios Halloween Horror Nights. Andy, in the interests of intellectual honesty, the player of the game, the star of the game, is Anthony Davis.
E'Twaun Moore brings it into Boogie Cousins, who goes right side, Dante Cunningham. Cunningham to Anthony Davis. Davis hands the ball to Holiday, right back to Davis. Slam dunk.
Davis with 27 points, 17 rebounds, 3 assists, 3 steals, 3 blocks, hit 8 of his 10 free throws, and 9 of 18 from the floor in 39 minutes. I know, Andy, we're the home of the Lakers, but come on, again, intellectual honesty is important.
Well, you're all big kids. You can handle it. Anthony Davis had the best game of anybody out there. Come on. All right, grown-ups here.
877-710-ESPN. If you got a problem with that, also don't at us. All right.
Or do it at Cam Brothers.
Yeah, that's fine. Actually, we could use the traffic. So the Lakers went on a run in the second half when they went small, which they tried a little bit in the first half, but it seemed to me at least that they changed up their defensive coverages a little bit, where instead of leaving Julius Randle on an island with DeMarcus Cousins, which was not a happy place for Randle to be.
Nor is it a fair place.
No.
I mean, nobody, I mean, there are few players in the league who can, in single coverage, guard DeMarcus Cousins, and none of them are as short as Julius Randle.
6'8" or whatever.
It's just not fair.
Yeah, it's like the Lord of the Flies Island with all the bullies and like one of the other guys left. So that didn't work. In the second half, though, they started doubling. They started moving bodies around, and it seemed to pick up the energy of the entire team with these rotations and closing and all this stuff. It wasn't perfect, but that lineup they had out there, it was Randall and Kuzma,
Ingram,
Josh Hart as a 6'11", a 3.
Right.
And then you have Josh Hart, who's a big 2/3
in a total surprise appearance.
Clarkson playing 3. And the surprise there is they basically bagged the Caruso or Ennis experiment that didn't go well again in the first half in favor of this kind of big, small lineup that brought a lot of energy. And Jordan Clarkson, who did not have an assist through the first 2.5 quarters, ends with 5 after essentially playing the point for most of the second, last 18 minutes.
I mean, look, we've seen that Jordan Clarkson can play the point. It's not his natural position, but he can do it in a pinch. And in the meantime, though, I think the positives from having Jordan Clarkson play out of position, doing something he can do, and then having someone like Josh Hart out there who, for a rookie, I think has a lot of defensive knowledge. He certainly brings defensive intensity. He's a smart player. It outweighs the upside of putting a guy like Caruso or Ennis, who is a pure point guard, out there for just the sake of doing it. I'd be surprised if Luke Walton didn't try this as the rotation for the second unit in the next game.
I would be very surprised. And it does a lot of things for Clarkson, too. So the biggest criticism I think people have for Clarkson is that he does one thing.
Yeah,
he's a good scorer coming off the bench. There's no
he's currently right now
fourth season, correct?
This is his
fourth season, I believe. And
yes.
the one thing that we've established is that Jordan Clarkson can come off the bench and get buckets. But
through 3 games, that is courtesy of Lakers PR. He's got 59 points off the bench. It leads the league.
So again, shooting the ball well, seeing the floor, all that kind of stuff as a scorer. But until they made that shift and moved him over to the point, Clarkson had an extraordinarily Clarkson-y kind of line where he had, I think it was 15 points at that point, no free throws. He struggles to get
just
the
a
line.
bunch of zeros across the line.
Everywhere. No assists, no rebounds, no steals, no blocks. I don't even think he had a personal foul. He had nothing else in that line. And so the scoring is nice, but you need other stuff. And by shifting him, it kind of changes his set a little bit. And it also, gives the Lakers a little more length defensively. It worked well tonight. Like you said, I'd be interested to see what they do going forward. 877-710-ESPN is the number if you'd like to call in. Let's go to Dave on the 405. I think Dave thinks he can win that casino thing that we're giving away, the big the golf and bowling thing at Fantasy Springs.
Hate to say it, Dave D., but you're ineligible.
You can't win it, Dave. Sorry, man.
That would be so great. The answer is Lonzo Ball, whatever the question is.
Employees of ESPN LA and their friends and family.
For those
and all
who
these
do
other
not
things.
recognize the voice, it is Dave Denholm, our resident soccer guru. How are you, man?
Good, guys. I'm enjoying the show. I must say, you guys have talked about it. This whole season has nothing to do with wins. Laker fans just have to try to find some joy in spurts of good basketball. And if they pick up victories, that's great. Maybe play tough teams tough. But it's all about Lonzo Ball and figuring out if this guy's a superstar. Because as you know, you don't get 4 superstars in free agency. I mean, even Golden State couldn't do that. You have to find them at those high draft picks. And frankly, he's the only one on this roster who may become a superstar. And you have to live through the growing pains of this guy playing terrible at times this year. That's fine. Just keep giving him the ball. Because Andy said it. He's already a half a step faster and thinking half a step beyond anybody on the court virtually that they've played so far, including all his teammates. He's got to get to that full step faster, and he may get there. He looks good. You just have to feed him the ball. It's got to be in his hands at all times and figure out if he's going to be a superstar.
Yeah, and I at the very least, the early signs are encouraging just from the full box score numbers that he's able to put up. The shot is not good yet. There were some bad turnovers tonight. But overall, I mean, you look at it, and there are certainly a lot of moments that we've seen in even just 3 games where you say, oh, geez, that's something a little bit different.
Well, you guys know it better than anyone. You watch every game. Look, you can tell if a guy knows how to play. That doesn't mean he's going to be great every night or if he's even going to be good a lot of nights as a rookie. He knows how to play basketball. You can just tell. I mean, it takes 3 games, and you can figure that out. So now we just got to keep feeding it to him so he can figure out what success looks like on the court, because he's already had a little taste of it. You're absolutely right, Brian. He already has had a little bit of that, even in 3 games. I'm excited for the guy. It's all about Lonzo Ball this season.
Absolutely. Dave, when are you on next?
Actually, we're moving it to a Thursday this week because of the Lakers on Wednesday night. So
right, Soccer Weekly
on Thursday evening.
Very good. Excellent. Thanks, Dave, for calling in. Appreciate it.
You bet. Bye-bye.
That was Dave Denholm. Thought he was going to win a trip to Fantasy Springs Resort Casino. He was wrong.
He needed to do like some dialect or accent work. He was going to try to disguise it.
I know a guy who actually would have tried that.
Mm-hmm.
So
it didn't work for him either.
No, but this is where they do that fine print stuff, during all these promotional giveaways. But the rest of you have a shot at it. 877-710-ESPN.
That guy needed a dialect coach.
We'll take more of your calls. What? We'll take more of your calls when we come back.
Coach.
Brian Kamenetsky, Andy Kamenetsky. This is the Land Rover postgame show on ESPN LA.
Wake up next to Keyshawn.
I got our phone cut off when I was young.
See? From prank calls?
No.
For what?
When they started those sex lines, those 1-800.
Shut up.
I swear to you.
Yeah. Did you really?
Yeah, because I used to dial them all the time.
Keyshawn, George, and LZ weekday mornings from 6 to 9.
Like all the time. Like,
How long were you staying on?
I don't know. I was a kid. I was like 10, 11 years old. I was like young.
Yeah, but you got to be calling a lot.
I was calling them.
Monday morning, 6 to 9. ESPN LA 710.
Message and data rates may apply.
When did it become okay for men to be lazier, softer, fatter? We need to bring the men of this country back to greatness. And it's easier than ever with Ageless Male Max, a patent-pending formula with an ingredient that helps boost your total testosterone, promoting greater increases in muscle size and twice the reduction of body fat percentage than exercise alone. Plus, an amazing 64% increase in nitric oxide, which can be handy in the gym and in the bedroom. Take your manhood to the max by trying your first 30-day bottle free. Just pay shipping and handling. Not 10 days, not 15 days, but a full 30-day supply free when you text the word USE to 797979. Finally, a formula that boosts total testosterone. If your results with Ageless Male Max are too intense, please decrease use. For your free bottle, text USE to 797979. Text USE to 797979.
It's time for some Straight Talk. Greeny, you love your phone, don't you? I'm updating my fantasy roster on it as we speak. But I'm guessing you don't love your pricey wireless plan, what with all the mystery fees and data overages every month. Oh, you got that right. What if I told you that you could keep that phone you love, but pay a whole lot less every month? Well, I'm in. With Straight Talk Wireless, you can actually keep your same phone, your same number, even your same network, but for a whole lot less than you're paying right now. It's kind of like getting the #1 starting quarterback for the price of a backup kicker. Steal of the draft.
Bring your own phone to Straight Talk Wireless. Our unlimited plan with 10 gigabytes at high speed, then 2G is just $45 a month. With nationwide coverage on America's largest, most dependable 4G LTE networks. Straight Talk Wireless. Only at Walmart. Savings may vary. A month equals 30 days. Please refer always to the latest terms and conditions of service at straighttalk.com.
You know what I love? A rookie phenom, a sophomore superstar in the making, and a championship mentality. You know what I hate? Sitting in traffic and paying big bucks for parking. That's why I go Metro instead. Plan your game day trip at Metro.net. That's Metro.net.
If it's in your nature to cast off the everyday and seek adventure, the Discovery Sport was built to help your search. Visit your SoCal Land Rover retailer for special offers.
Finally happened.
Line shot, and it is caught, and the ball game is over, and the Los Angeles Dodgers have won the pennant.
The long wait has ended, and the Dodgers have a chance to bring a World Series championship back to L.A.
The Dodgers are headed to the World Series for the first time in 29 years.
This is the Land Rover postgame show. Highlights from of tonight's Lakers game and your reaction on the Lakers line.
Hey, it's Lonzo Ball on ESPN, LA 710.
Come along for the ride. It's Lakers basketball.
The Land Rover Postgame Show.
Your Southern California Land Rover retailers. Visit them for special lease and finance offers. Land Rover, above and beyond.
Once again, here's Andy and Brian Kamenetsky.
The drive of the game is brought to you by LA Car Guy. Check out monthly specials and browse the inventory of all 11 LA Car Guy dealerships on one website, lacarguy.com. Andy, we like to multitask here. This could also do a defensive play of the game, but we already did that. So we're repurposing it as the drive of the game.
Here's Boogie dribbling left side, round Brook Lopez, throws the ball, and Nance steals it. Nance bounce pass ahead to Ingram. Ingram shovel past Lonzo, gets to the rim, lays it up and in. There's the first basket for Lonzo.
Yeah, so a lot going on there for the Lakers. They do lose tonight, 119-112. Brian Kamenetsky, Andy Kamenetsky, here on the Land Rover postgame show. This turned into, I'm not going to say this was a good game. It turned into a good game based on some stuff that the Lakers were doing in the second half, led in part by Jordan Clarkson, who finished with, I believe, 25 tonight? 24 tonight.
24.
And a strong game offensively led the Lakers in scoring. Patrick in Pasadena, once more Jordan Clarkson.
Hello, gentlemen. Thank you for having me on the show. You said you wanted an accent. Real quickly, I think one of the greatest things about Lonzo Ball is he already looks good, and he's 19 years old. Not that he looks like a superstar, not that he looks great, but you're seeing a guy who was drafted number 2 who can compete at the NBA level. I mean, he's gone up against 3 good point guards and has done better than a lot of players who've been in the league multiple years. It's exciting. It's fun to see. I think the fact that Kuzma was a steal, you're seeing exciting. Even though we lost, I watched the whole game. It was exciting. I enjoyed the game. I was very excited. I was happy with the result. Even though we lost, our guys competed. They looked good. My thing with Clarkson, and we had this debate with, I don't know if it was you, Andy, I don't know if it was you, Brian, but in like 2015, what was Clarkson's role? Is he going to develop more moves into a point guard? Is he going to be a shooting guard?
Right, this is the great Byron Scott experiment.
Exactly. And it's not that he's a point guard or he's a shooting guard. I think the fact that you can use him as both roles and have him bring up the ball and kind of probe, and he's got that real quick first step and allows you to play a defensive shooting guard next to him, gives us a whole different dynamic.
Yeah,
and it allows us to compete defensively, and I think it was fun to watch.
Yeah, and Patrick, thanks for the call. I agree that he is capable, Andy, of playing some point guard and doing that. You want other ball handlers on the floor with him, I think. If you can do it, Randall can handle the ball, Ingram can handle the ball, Hart can handle the ball. He's not the idea that you would make him kind of the quasi backup is to some degree an indictment of the guys that they have as much as it is an endorsement of Clarkson. But if it works, then they've got enough bodies there to make that kind of lineup go.
It's the best that the second unit has looked with anybody acting as point guard, whether you're talking about Alex Caruso, whether you're talking about Tyler Ennis, or whether you're talking about Jordan Clarkson. And even if Clarkson is a quasi-point guard, he's a combo guard and really a scorer at heart, and we've seen, he can run the point, but it's not really what he does. That's their best option so far, and I would say playing either Josh Hart or Corey Brewer in that guard spot and just go without a traditional point guard, it's the best that second unit has looked.
Anthony, in Inglewood, you're on the Land Rover postgame show.
Yeah, thanks for taking my call, guys. My hope was that Luke would have left the unit in that made the run to get back in the game because there was a lot of continuity there. And as soon as the substitution was made, the continuity, the momentum shifted.
And you're talking about taking. Was this when he took Hart out and put Lonzo back in?
Yeah. And he took Ingram out and brought. He left Hart in, but he brought.
Oh, right, and then they swapped out KCP for Hart a couple minutes later. Right.
Yeah.
The big shift. You're right. The big shift there was taking out Ingram and putting Lonzo back in.
They had all the momentum in the world, and they had the more seasoned players. Josh Hart looked great. He's a 4-year NCAA champion, So Lonzo, no knock on him, and the Lakers didn't lose because of his play, but he's 19, and there's no substitute for experience at that level. I believe sometimes he's got to sit and watch what goes on the court so he can implement that in his game instead of putting all the pressure on him to make the winning plays every night.
Yeah, and thanks for the call.
You know, actually, Anthony raises an interesting question and sort of like general dilemma for the season with what he's talking about with Luke should have taken out Lonzo down the store, not put Lonzo back in.
Right.
Gone with the unit that got the Lakers back in the game.
He rode that group basically through the minor tweaks here and there.
Rode it for a long time, but the idea of closing out a game without Lonzo, which for the grand scheme of this season feels unthinkable, but you start thinking about, okay, how much does it matter if you win this game versus how much does it matter if you take every single opportunity to let Lonzo experience certain scenarios and develop? You know what I mean? Like, it's an interesting dilemma within each individual game.
Yeah, I think things did change when Lonzo got back on the floor. Is that Lonzo's fault? Is it, would leaving Ingram on the floor have made a difference in the game? I don't know. Certainly, I don't think swapping KCP out for Hart, you're essentially with KCP doing Josh Hart.
Yeah, I was going to say you're going with an upgraded Josh Hart.
Right. That's what those guys are cut from the same cloth in a lot of ways. So I don't have a problem with that. But
there's an element of if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Sure. I mean, you're going on a big run like the Lakers. I think it was a 21-5 run at one point. I think it got bigger than that, and they cut that lead down and actually took the lead. But they've got to figure out. They got to learn how to win those games. And ultimately, you're going to learn to win those with Lonzo on the floor. And so I don't have a problem with Lonzo getting back in, particularly since defensively you're still leaving yourself with a lot of length out on the floor. Eric in Westwood, you are on the Land Rover postgame show.
Yeah, first of all, I want to give mad ups to Julius Randle. He was one of those guys that really keyed that comeback, with his energy. He was engaged both offensively and defensively.
Certainly more than he'd been all season long.
Yeah, and that's the Julius Randle we want to see. He's a guy that kind of, does the dirty work instead of, trying to do too much offensively. And I'm sure the coaching staff would agree with that. I think Stu Lance made a great point. He said that the Lakers made that comeback playing that frenetic pace. And once it got, down to the wire and they had to, execute in the half court, they just couldn't execute. And I think part of that is, the offense just looks discombobulated at times, and maybe they need time to work on it. But I think most importantly, they just lack that go-to guy. The guy that you can give the ball to, can get your buckets, command the double team. And I think the Lakers were hoping that Brandon Ingram would be that guy. But right now,
he's not yet. Right.
He's not. And I think the pressure of the Magic putting that label on him of a 20-point scorer, I think that's just too much pressure for a young kid. He's obviously trying to live up to those expectations. He's forcing the issue. He just really needs to go back and just play the game where he's playing the game where he lets the game come to him, And, we're hoping that maybe next year, Paul, knock on wood, hopefully either Paul George or LeBron James can be that guy. But until then, I think they just really need to try to execute in the half court. And but you know what? It was good to see this young team not wilt and make that comeback. And for a young team, it's good to see that.
All right, Eric, hang on the line there. You're listening very closely to Stu, which is always a good idea. And you said some things about Ingram and the pressure and Magic that Andy and I have been saying, which means you may have been listening to us. And that's a great way to win a 2-night stay, dinner for two in golf or bowling for two at Fantasy Springs Resort Casino. It's just a quick 2-hour drive to the Palm Springs area for championship golf, world-class entertainment, 24-hour Vegas-style gaming, and on-site clubs with hotel. Go to FantasySpringsResortCasino.com. And I'm going to try not to hang up on you, which would really ruin all of this. And so hang on the line, and we'll get you that. We'll come back and wrap things up, talking a little more Lonzo Ball, maybe hear a little bit from some of the Lakers post-game, try to sneak in a couple more calls. Brian Kamenetsky, Andy Kamenetsky. It's the Land Rover post-game show on ESPN LA.
Stephen A. Smith here for Mobile Wash. Your car's dirty. It's filthy. It's disgusting. Time is money. Don't waste it at the car wash. Download Mobile Wash. Have your car professionally washed and detailed at your home or workplace in just minutes. They come to you and they bring everything. Mobile Wash is my car wash app because it's the best. That's why I love Mobile Wash. And guess what? So will you. Mobile Wash, your and my car wash app. Download Mobile Wash from the App Store and Google Play today. Use promo code ESPNLA and save.
Hi, I'm Mike Sullivan, LA Car Guy. Who doesn't love options? That's why we have an incredible selection of over 600 pre-owned vehicles, including SUVs, hybrids, and luxury cars. Just head to lacarguy.com and browse our massive inventory based on type, color, price, and more. And remember, we're always looking to buy cars, so come to one of our dealerships, even if you just want to sell us yours.
Find your perfect pre-owned vehicle today at lacarguy.com.
LA Car Guy, driving style since 1974.
If you could get rewarded for sleeping, would you? What about for sitting on a bench, looking out at the ocean? Or for sitting in a comfy chair, watching football on TV? Guess what? That third dream job is real thanks to Buffalo Wild Wings. You can come in, watch football, and earn points with blazing rewards just for being there. That's right. You're a professional football fan now. Brag about it to all your friends. Buffalo Wild Wings. Wings, beer, sports.
Terms and conditions apply. Must be a Blazing Rewards member. To join and for details, visit blazingrewards.com or download the Blazing Rewards app.
You work at Westcom.
Yes.
So you can get me in.
Huh?
Can you get me on the list to join? I've heard Westcom offers all the great service, low fees, and great rates of a credit union.
That's right. Plus all the tools you get from a big bank.
So I need to be on the VIP list.
No, anyone in SoCal can open a Westcom account. You'll even get perks, like access to 30,000 fee-free ATMs.
I feel special. Westcom. The best bank for you may not be a bank at all. Westcom.org. Federally insured by NCUA. Certain terms may apply.
This is the Land Rover Postgame Show. Highlights from tonight's Lakers game and your reaction on the Lakers line.
Hey, it's Lonzo Ball on ESPN, LA 710. Come along for the ride. It's Lakers basketball.
The Land Rover Postgame Show.
Your Southern California Land Rover retailers. Visit them for special lease and finance offers. Land Rover, above and beyond.
Once again, here's Andy and Brian Kamenetsky.
Lakers lose 119 to 112 to New Orleans at Staples Center tonight. They fall to 1-2 on the very young season. The Pelicans improved to 1-2. The block of the game is brought to you by Ritz Plumbing. The next time your pipes are all blocked and backed up, the only place to use is family-owned Ritz Plumbing, in business for over 85 years. RitzPlumbing.com.
Well, so much for my theory, because Corey Brewer missed both free throws.
Yeah, it's going bad for the Lakers.
Here's DeMarcus Cousins down the middle, blocked by Bogut. There's some defense, and now they throw it away.
The way John Ireland was talking about that came when the Lakers were still down. They were down 84 to 66 at that point. And John was pointing out that the defense wasn't there, and early it was not. The Pelicans shot over 60% in the first half. The Lakers did a much better job in the second half. And so this block from Andrew Bogut was a bit of a foreshadowing of what was coming when they picked up the pressure.
Yeah, you really saw an immediate difference in that second half, in the second half of the third quarter. I thought it really began actually when Josh Hart got inserted into the game very much out of nowhere.
That was the shift that they made, where they moved Clarkson over to the point. They played with that big small lineup,
right?
And
like you said earlier too, they may have been switching up their defensive schemes a little bit. Their
doubling a little more on
well.
Davis, doubling more on.
But
Cousins.
I mean, just like the spark of energy that comes from a guy like Josh Hart, who has been well coached. He played 4 years at Villanova, was part of a championship team. You're not going to leave a school like that and a program like that not understanding how to play the game, but also, too, the energy of somebody that did not expect to play in this game at all and is really excited to play, but also is not going to try to do anything other than just his job, because he wants to try to parlay this into more PT. I mean, you see this occasionally, like guys who don't expect to play, they're like, okay, what is my role? I want to follow it to the letter.
It's one or the other. It's either I'm going to do everything because I got to prove it, or it's what you're talking about.
Follow it to the letter because I want to stay in the rotation.
And it's one of the weird things about young teams is everything is kind of contagious. I mean, I think anybody who has kids understands, like, when you get them all together, the amoeba effect that kind of grows. So when the energy is low, it can suck the life out of everyone. The movement wasn't there, and they were really bogged down in a bad half-court offense early and a lot of one-on-one play and all this stuff. And then all of a sudden, the energy goes up, and it goes up for everyone at the same time, and they're all moving, and they're all talking, and they're all doing these things. And so, it worked really well for them over the course of the second half, and really the second half of the third quarter and into the fourth. So I'm curious to see how this impacts what they do Wednesday against Washington, what kind of lineups they run out against a Wizards team that doesn't have the same kind of size up front.
No, I mean, and they don't have a ton of depth in Washington. It'll be interesting to see if maybe the second unit of the Lakers can actually try to turn what they did tonight against the Pelicans into maybe an advantage, like a rare advantage that this team might bring to the court.
Well, I mean, we talked about it last year. They have depth. They don't have a lot of top-end talent that can match teams, but particularly now with Kuzma coming in and they have KCP and Brewer, the legitimate NBA players that are further down the rotation, they can compete if they're, sort of 5 through 10 with everyone. So second units can be really important.
Yeah, no question. And I'm going to be very curious to see if Hart ends up staying in that second unit. Some of us will be matchup dependent.
I'd be surprised to see Caruso and Ennis.
Right. At the very least, I think it's either going to be Hart or Corey Brewer playing alongside Jordan Clarkson. And like you said, the Ennis or Caruso experiment is done.
All right, so we'll be back, at least temporarily. We'll be back Wednesday, Lakers versus the Wizards, a 7:30 tip, 6 o'clock pregame show with Travis Rogers and Michael Thompson here on ESPN LA.
You've been listening to tonight's Land Rover postgame show.
Your Southern California Land Rover retailers. Visit them for special lease and finance offers. Land Rover, above and beyond.
Lakers basketball, presented by
Pizza Hut. Get a large 2-topping pizza with pizza delivered for just $7.99 when you order online. Only at Pizza Hut. Gardens Casino, featuring 220 flat-screen TVs, 24 California craft beers on tap, and an upscale bar and lounge with handcrafted cocktails. Located off the 605 and Carson Street. Please play responsibly. The Gardens Casino, best play in L.A.
In-N-Out Burger. That's what a hamburger's all about.
Universal Studios Hollywood. Get ready for nonstop terror with more mazes than ever at Universal Studios Halloween Horror Nights. LA Car Guy. LA Car Guy. Check out monthly specials and browse the inventory of all 11 LA Car Guy dealerships in one website. LACarguy.com.
Get closer to Lakers basketball right here. The Lakers play here. ESPN LA 710 and the ESPN app.
Why have over 3 million guys switched to Harry's razors? Because at Harry's, we give you less. We make just one razor with 5 German-engineered blades. Ding! All you need for a smooth and comfortable shave. Man, we got rid of upcharges. By owning the factory and cutting out the middleman, we're able to sell our high-quality blades for just $2 a piece. Ka-ching! Now we're cutting the overpriced sound effects guy.
Oh, wait, why?
Not everyone can give you high quality for a fraction of the price. Harry's, one perfect razor, none of the extra noise. As a special offer for radio listeners, redeem an $18 shave set trial bundle when you visit harrys.com and use code 1010 at checkout. Just cover a few bucks for shipping. That's harrys.com, code 1010 to redeem our special shave set trial offer. harrys.com, code 1010. Again, it's harrys.com, code 1010. Please note, no sound effects guys were harmed in the making of this radio recording.
I'm Stan Barrett. Sports Center comes your way every night from right here in Los Angeles. Join me and Neil Everett for highlights, all the news of the day, and whatever else you need to see. And Sports Center's top 10 plays. We never know what's going to happen, and that's a part of what makes it fun. So make sure you join us so you can see what happens on Sports Center from Los Angeles. Catch your LA Sports Center tonight, 10 p.m. It's Sports Center from Los Angeles, Tuesday through Saturday at 10 p.m. Sports Center from Los Angeles on ESPN.
Come out for a day of golf and fun and help support the men and women who fight for our freedom. On Friday, November 10th, the Pacific Palms Resort in the City of Industry will play host to the Land of the Free Veterans Day Golf Classic. All proceeds from the tournament will go directly to charities that support the men and women of our armed forces. For more information on the tournament, please visit their website, landofthefreefoundation.org, or give them a call at 562-948-4362.
KSPN, Los Angeles.
quickly, the Falcons-Patriots, the rematch after last year's epic 28-3 collapse.